Hi friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy. Welcome to this week's episode of Better Horses TV. Got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be going to the Ted and Peach Model Farm by Baldwin, Kansas. We're going to introduce you to Richard Shrake, a legend when it comes to equine clinicians, specifically resistance-free. We're going to be saddling up a Percheron for the first time. Then we're going to go over to Lewisburg, Kansas, where they're going to be doing a sorting for Wyatt Deal, a young man that's battling cancer, and working with St. Jude's Hospital, and to benefit him and also to benefit other kids. So it's going to be a great show. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. Come back and join us for Better Horses TV with Ernie the Horse Guy.
What do you get when you bring together one of the biggest names in veterinary medicine with one of the most caring and committed teams of horse health experts in the industry? You get a vaccine portfolio known for its quality and safety, a pharmaceutical line you can rely on to help manage pain and support performance. You get the products, programs, and people of Merck Animal Health.
Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. You know, I love Psalm 23, and I've just been poring over it. Hi, this is Pastor Frank with Open Range Fellowship, and I'm just worshiping here in my office today, which is in my barn, which is the only place to have an office. And I've been reading through Psalm 23. You know, it is comforting that He is our shepherd and we are the sheep in His pasture, is it not? And I love to worship Him. So no matter what's going on with you this week, worship Him. Turn the radio on. Get up early, watch a sunrise. Go out and watch a sunset. Just see His magnificent glory and give Him all the honor and praise. Let's just pray. Lord, we just thank you. We thank you so much that you breathed everything into existence. And we want to worship you today in Jesus' name. Amen. So this week, let's give Him all the honor and glory and praise. He alone is worthy. Amen. And He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake.
Back in the saddle and out on the trail with Ernie the Horse Guy, now fun will prevail. We'll meet the best horseman under the sun. Tip our hats to the ladies, keep the good Lord number one. Ride along, sing your song, along with better horses, we're right where we belong. Faith and love from up above, the best of the good life's yet to come.
This segment is brought to you by CSI Saddle Pads.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy, and welcome to this week's episode of Better Horses TV. We are here in Baldwin, Kansas, really Baldwin, Wellsville, but we're here at Peach and Ted Models Farm. And I'm here with a living legend, one of the best, the godfather of clinicians. We have here Richard Shrake, and Richard, it's a real honor to be up here doing one of these. We've done a lot of clinics together.
Yes, we have, Ernie.
Tell us what we're going to be doing here right now.
Well, right now, what I'd like to just explain to everybody, and again, what a great horse to use. Here we've got a Gentle Giant, basically a Percheron that Peach has bought, and look at him right now, talk to her. He's turning his head, and he says, "Pete, I trust you." How do we know that? Because that's the way horses communicate. 99.9% they communicate, Ernie, in physical movement. And they don't really talk English or Chinese. They talk in just plain old horse language, which is, you know, physical movement. And so right here, just by him blinking his eyes, By him turning to Peach, he's saying to both of us, hey, I trust you. I take your leadership in just his communication. So I'm seeing a nice horse. See him drop his head. He says, I'm obedient. He's saying, thank you for being here and protecting me.
Now, Richard, I understand.
Here's again, a prey animal, and he needs that leadership.
I understand this horse is, they drive him. They can pull a wagon or drive.
Exactly.
But he's never been ridden. And we're going to do that today. You're going to show him some steps to get us through that.
We are. And one of the first things we're going to show here, and again with Peach and Liz, we've got one on each side. And the best part about this is, Ernie, is you introduced me as the godfather. I don't know about that, but I do know this, that if it wasn't for really great horsemen in my background to where I could learn from, I couldn't teach Steve, I couldn't teach our class here anything, because they were the ones that shared with me. And one of the great times I had was with a guy named Jimmy Williams, who actually taught at the Spanish riding school. And he helped actually the horses there during the war, rescue them. So his influence was big on me, and what he taught me, that when you have a horse that maybe is a little excitable and he needs to have steadiness on both sides to stay straight, we'll put a shank on each side of the horse. We'll get the person up here to where they're within about a foot of the halter, because if we're out here and we're trying to actually have communication to this horse, and there's this much, what we've got now is this horse that we don't have that contact and feel. So the first thing Liz is going to do, and if we can get a close-up of this, she's going to hold it in her fingers.
Richard,
This
we're going
is
to
where
take a
we
break.
get the
And
feel.
we're going to come back and go
Okay.
to phase 2 of what we're doing with this horse. Is that fair enough?
Excellent. Let's
But
do it, Ernie.
we'll be
Right
back.
here, we're going to get a close-up of this, and that's where, when it's Al Dunning or Hilda Gurney, whoever the top horseman is the first contact to the rein, because that's where the feel is.
Can't wait. Here with Richard Strake, Baldwin, Kansas, at Ted and Peach Models Farm.
Hi, I'm Donna. This is Ringo. We're with CSI Saddle Pads. I'd like to invite you to ride our new revolutionary FlexPlate saddle pad. We offer a 30-day money-back, ride it, get it dirty guarantee. And the best part of the pad is it's 100% American-made with American parts by American hands.
Yeah, we're riding these CSI saddle pads. The thing that really sells it for me is they have a flex plate inside them, and that distributes that pressure over the horse rather than putting it all in one spot.
For more information, go to csipads.com.
Hay is not for horses. They deserve Stanley Premium Western Forage. There's no better place in the country to grow forage than Idaho, and Stanley is one of the country's largest producers. From pellets, cubes, and chopped forage in bags to compressed in 3-tie bales, Stanley cultivates the premium forage types horse owners demand. Because your horse needs hay, but he deserves Stanley Premium Western Forage.
This segment is brought to you by your independent Purina dealers.
Folks, Ernie the Horse Guy here with Richard Strake, one of the top clinicians in the country, and we have the privilege of working with him here at Ted and Peach Models Farm near Baldwin, Kansas, and we're ready for phase 2 of the saddling of this horse. And you got a great guy here helping you,
No
along with
question.
some other great help. I'm going to
No
turn it
question.
back to Richard
All
Strake
right, Steve.
and see where we go.
Okay, Ernie? Well, Steve, I appreciate you coming out today. And Steve, of course, is one of our certified trainers in our resistance-free program. And he not only, we've done this together at expos in front of a lot of people, and now we're in front of a great crowd and also on our TV audience out here. But what we're going to do next is we're going to take a horse that has been driven, but he's never been saddled. Now, just by being driven, he's had harness put on him. So this is a pretty good deal, but when you put a saddle on, it's kind of a different thing because it weighs a little more. And what we have done, especially in our training films, is we've shown you that anytime you introduce a horse the first time to something, Paige and Steve, we've got to realize their brain is like a computer. And so for every entry, if that computer has an entry that's clean, it's trusting, It has a compassion and respect with the way we do it, Ernie. This horse will log that up there in that brain, and then the next time we do it, it gets easier and easier to where the saddling, unsaddling, or whatever we do new is an absolute. It's a guaranteed thing. But if we hurt this horse, and at any time that this horse is caused a reaction, because they're action-reaction animals, that he gets hurt and it's a distrustful negative move, that also logs up in his brain. So right here we got to be really careful. So the very first thing is watch Steve right now. He's going to let this horse just smell the blanket. So right here he's going to say, hey, Liz, should I trust this guy or not? So we're going to let him smell it. Okay. There, see him drop his head. So he automatically says, okay. Steve rubs him. And now here's the critical thing. Once this horse blinks his eye or licks his lips, Steve turns his back, walks straight out of the deal. So watch Steve turn his back to him, walks away. Now, why do we do that? Because Steve is a predator, and when any predator turns his back and walks away from the prey animal, what is the predator saying? He's saying, hey, I'm no longer going to attack you. So this is a complete entry. Now, if he just stood here and rubbed this blanket on him, that's only one entry. Now, when I went to Switzerland here a few years ago, we actually did this as an experiment. We had 10 foals, yearlings, that we rubbed on for an hour, never walked away. Then we had 10 that we'd rub on. They would give us a blink of the eye, a drop of the head, and then we'd come back, and we would do 20 entries. The next day, that horse that we just stood there and rubbed on for an hour and desensitized, never turned our back on, walked away, made multiple entries, 40% of them were scared of the blanket in the saddle. But the ones that we did the multiple entries, turn our back, walk away, every one of them accepted it the second day. So what does that tell us? It's not quantity, it's quality. So right here, now, you see, the second this horse would raise his head or have any negative reaction, walk away. Okay, now back up, and I'd actually turn my back, Steve. That is critical, okay? And let's just now walk away, and now back in, and just take it up, and just put it right on him. See? No problem. Now, once he accepted the blanket, the saddle should be pretty much the same. So this time Steve's going to walk over, grab the saddle, and if he did this job right, this horse, he'll be able to set the saddle up on his back, and this horse will not raise his head, blink his eye, but he'll just stand there and accept it quietly. 2, 3, lightly set it down, and not a change in behavior. Multiple entries, positive reaction, let the horse stand. Okay?
Great job with Richard Schrake here at the model farm, putting the saddle on for the first time. Really exciting.
Welcome to Silver Spurs Equine LLC. Silver Spurs is home to over 20 NRHA champion stallions, including 2 $2 million sires, Conquistador Whiz and Nick It in the Bud, along with NRHA $1 million sires, A Sparkling Vintage, Spook's Got a Gun, and Einstein's Revolution. Extra is home to Wimpy's Little Step, NRHA Hall of Fame member, $9 million sire, and currently the NRHA's #1 all-time living sire, the flashy Palomino stallion Shiner's Voodoo Doctor, whose first 2 foal crops are performing successfully. And Wimpy Needs a Cocktail, Wimpy's Little Step's highest earning sire. This combining forces of breeding, training, and selling some of the best offspring the industry has to offer by champion sires and champion producing mares gives everyone access to exceptional stallions and performers. Visit us at silverspursequine.com.
This segment is brought to you by Heritage Tractor and your John Deere and Featherlight trailer dealer.
Welcome back to Better Horses TV. I'm here with Richard Schrake. We're here with Steve Miles, and we're here with Doc Holliday, first time ever with the saddle. And so glad you guys could tune in and experience this with us. Richard, what's next?
Oh, you know, right now we're going to talk about a subject, Ernie, that anybody that owns a horse has had some kind of experience with, and that is horses that are what we call cinchy. And this is really interesting because our research shows that if we cinch a horse up too tight, the very first time we put that saddle on, like we're doing Doc Holliday here, not only does that make them claustrophobic, but from then on, the rest of their life, they'll have a little what we call cold back, and either they'll learn to flip over backwards immediately. That'll happen here if it's done too tight, too quick, or every time we ride them until they're 30 years old. My father had a buckskin mare called Honey. She had a cold back all her life, and it was all started because the first time they saddled her, they tightened her up, she got claustrophobic. So now you put a saddle on, and of course the mind triggers, negative effect, and she walked like this, and for the first 15 minutes of the ride, she tried to halfway buck him off or just humped her back up. So the real critical deal here is once you get your saddle on, the horse blinks his eyes, drops his head, licks his lips, and he's saying, hey, I trust you. Then we're going to have Steve just slowly snug this up, and I mean just snugly. So Steve, let's just snug it up maybe one notch there. And you notice Steve gets the stirrup out of the way. Oh, he's been great. And if he could get to where the camera can kind of see this, he comes up to the next notch, but again, he's not just cutting this horse in half. And it's like anything. If you were standing here and all of a sudden somebody came up and gave you a bear hug, what would your immediate reaction be? And you'd grab your breath. And then if they didn't let you go, you'd probably panic and try to get away. So when you cinch this horse for the first time, take your time, do it slow, and then once you get the saddle on fairly snug where it's not going to roll or flop off, then Steve, get him to move his feet and get him to cross over. So now we're going to stand out of the way, and Steve is just going to walk him around him here in a tight circle, tighter, tighter, and you see right there he's accepted the saddle and stopped. Whoa, very good. That's all you need to do. Now if you don't move him, and you don't move him in a circle when you begin this, if you just pull him straight ahead, I guarantee you, I've done this too many times on colts, and they'll take that step, and when they go forward, they'll jump right on top of you. So it's always the first step is in a circle. We cover this a lot in our DVD that we did in Montana on Resistance-Free Training 1. Take your time, do it slow, and Ernie, you'll never have a cold back.
We're going to come back, and we'll see what it looks like with someone on this horse for the first time. I'm Ernie the Horse Guy, and welcome to the Better Horses TV show with Richard Schrake.
Good.
You care about your animals and feeding them the best. And that's where Purina's local Kansas City dealers step in, providing you experience, knowledge, service, and advice. Purina feed dealers are people who believe in community involvement and who believe in you. They have a passion for the feed industry and are committed to helping customers unlock the potential of every animal. If you are looking for a trusted source for your animals, look no further than your local Purina feed dealer, your partner in animal care.
This segment of Better Horses TV is brought to you by Silver Spurs Equine and Extra Quarter Horses.
Ernie the Horse Guy back with Richard Schrake, and what an unbelievable demonstration, Richard, you did. And Steve, appreciate all that. We got Charlotte Dodd is going to be the first on Doc Holliday, and I'll turn it back to you.
Live weight is really important. And again here, we've kind of chosen Charlotte because she's the right size to go up this high. Here we've got a 19-hand horse. That is big. We figured it out this morning. It's 6'3", I think. So anyway, Charlotte, come over here for just a second. And what we're going to do is just let you say hello to the horse. So let him smell the back of your hand. There. See the horse turn his head, and he says, "Thank you, Charlotte. I trust you." Huh? And he's not battering you with his head. He's just saying hello. Look at he's drop his head. So we have total submission. We've got a horse that trusts her. So now Steve's going to just have her, and this is something you can practice at home. You're going to walk over and you're going to put your hand right here and your other hand in the stirrup, and you're going to put the left leg back like this, and Steve's just going to let you kind of bounce up and down beside him. So just pick your leg up, your left leg. Now just kind of bounce up and down. There you go. Now, rather than getting on, all Charlotte's going to do now is Steve is going to help her slide halfway up. Oh, this is a long ways. Over the back of the horse and up and halfway. Not on yet. Just stay right there. Now, there was a little raise of the head. So now we're going to let her come back down. Bend your knee. Holy mackerel, you need a parachute, kid. Turn your back, walk away. Now, if you really want to see us do this on a young quarter horse, we do this in our Training 1 film. Okay, back up. This time, we're going to go halfway up again. Leg, hand up over, 2, 3, up. A little raise of the head. That's good. And let's do it back down one more time. Good. Okay. It's a great thing to do with your kids, guys, because they learn to trust you. No choice. Okay, now this time I think we can put her right up on the horse. So she's going to do the whole thing again. This time you're going to kick your leg over, 2, 3, up. Leg over, whoa, and down. I'm glad he's so quiet. And now pet him in front of the withers.
Don't try this at home. I'm just joking. but I tell you, unbelievable. Great job.
Yeah.
What a great cowgirl from Nebraska and
Remember,
everything
he's
else.
19 hands high. But again, let the horse tell you. The horse didn't move a foot. He raised his head a little,
Great
but
horse.
he's saying so. And he's been harnessed before, so we're in a safe deal. She's got her helmet on.
Yep.
Good.
Steve, Richard, Charlotte, you're all unbelievable. Ernie the horse guy, back to you.
Your buddy Ron once said he could install your ceiling fan. He couldn't. And that one time, Ron said another chili dog was a good idea? Yeah, it wasn't. So when Ron said you'd never afford a John Deere tractor, you knew better. Now, Ron does too. The E-Series, legendary John Deere quality, unexpected low price.
Stop by and see Heritage Tractor at one of its 9 locations for your John Deere and Featherlight trailer needs. HeritageTractor.com.
Better Horses with Ernie Rodina is brought to you by your friends at Merck Animal Health.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy and welcome to this week's episode of Better Horses TV. We're in a great event, grant sorting for St. Jude's Hospital, and we're here with the people that are behind it. And I'll tell you, we're so glad to be here with Diana Adele, and we're here with Wyatt Deal, and we're here with your dad, Dennis Deal, the Dreamland Ranch. And this is a great event, and I got Diana here. Talk to us about, you're the instigator and the organizer. Talk to us about what this is all about.
Well, I made a suggestion to Dennis to do a fundraiser, and since we have such a love for the cattle and the ranch sorting, I said, let's put a sorting together and raise some donations for sorting for St. Jude.
And I tell you what, it's really a great place. The EC Equine Center opened up their doors to this place, this Lewisburg. It's really been great. And I tell you what, this young man to your left, I tell you what, we're talking about Wyatt Deal, this is a big part of him. And Wyatt, I tell you what, we appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you do. And tell us a little bit about what St. Jude's Hospital means to you.
Well, St. Jude's is a very special place because it's a hospital and you have to go down there. A lot of people are down there 6 to 8 months. I got lucky. I was only down there for about 4. But you know it's a hospital and you know you're sick, but the real thing is they try to make it as home to you. You know, you got special people. You're going to meet all types of different people, and the staff there and the doctors are just wonderful.
And you're being treated for inoperable
brain tumor. It's located in the pons.
Well, we're going to get that thing.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's exactly.
I've been taking chemo, and I did about 2 months of radiation.
Well, you know what? And just starting basketball practice at Drexel High.
At Drexel High, yeah.
High School.
I'm a
and everything.
senior.
And your dad, and I know your dad has been. This has been an awful important event for you. And Dennis, tell us what this hospital and this event means to you.
Well, the event means to give back for everything they've done for
Me.
Wyatt and our family. That's the big thing, and that's why we're here today.
You know, and
if you look around, pretty impressive, isn't it?
The community has really wrapped themselves around not St. Jude's Hospital, but Wyatt Deal.
Yes.
And that's got to be so helpful in the
I got
healing
the whole
process.
WeMo behind me, cheering me on.
You know, and you know, Diane, we're talking about. I like the name First Annual because we're planning on holding more of these. Am I correct?
I believe so, as long as everything works out.
Works out. And the other thing that's really neat is from the standpoint that we got an event coming up in April that Dennis, you want to talk about? Let's just kind of give them a little bit of an understanding. We're not done promoting St. Jude's Hospital or promoting for Wyatt and everything. Woo! Whoa, let's get a little Western here and everything else. So, hey, we had a little live action. That's what it's all about. And we got a big event, Dennis. We were right in the middle of talking about this event coming up in April that if you don't like the sort, but you like the trail ride, you're not kept out of the picture.
We're not. We're going to have a trail ride on the Dreamland Ranch in April. I believe it's April 14th. And we're just now starting to put it together, but I think it's going to be a big event for us.
Well, let me tell you this. There's trail rides all over. But to get a chance to ride on the Dreamland Ranch, that's really special. You know,
I believe it's going to be real special.
Oh, like that. And I know that Wyatt, we're excited about that. When we get you on a horse, looks like you're ready for a basketball game.
Yeah, I am ready for basketball, but I might get on a horse.
Well,
you never
that's
know.
good, Emily. But
It's a beautiful place down there. So.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you something. We're so proud of you. And you keep up the good fight because not only is this community, but the whole Better Horses community is praying and pulling for you on this thing here.
Well, thank you very much.
And so we're just glad, and this won't be the last time we see you on Better Horses TV or Better Horses Radio. We appreciate that. Great, Diane. Just a great event you put on here. My hat goes off to you for this sorting event. And by I mention, you won the last go around, if I'm correct.
I might have, I don't know.
You know you won it and everything.
Yeah.
So great to have it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Better Horses TV with Ernie the Horse Guy here at the EC Equine Center in Lewisburg, Kansas with the first annual ranch sorting for St. Jude's and Wyatt.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Friends, I hope you enjoyed Better Horses TV today as much as we did. We want you to join us next week for another episode of Better Horses TV, and thank you so much for being a part of this and making this possible.